I'm Heather Richmond. Welcome to my vlog. Today we're going to talk about MyPlate, which was the new version of My Pyramid. It's not much clearer. For example, there's this one group right here. The vegetable category, like many of the other categories, actually have food items in them that fall into numerous categories, which can be very confusing. For example, corn, parsnips, potatoes, pumpkins, squash. Some people would put zucchini in this category. They're vegetables. They are also starches. Not all vegetables are starch. Then you have these things called beans and peas. If you've ever wondered what a legume is, beans and peas are mature forms of legumes, free of charge for you right there. But they have carbohydrate as well. They also have protein. They also are a vegetable. Confusing. Then you have kale. Kale is a dark green leafy vegetable, but it is also a protein. Woohoo! So you can see how this would be confusing. What's the point? What is the point of categorizing your food in these categories and creating a well-balanced meal? This, for example, is a well-balanced meal according to MyPlate. You probably would see this in your kids' lunchroom. So you have milk. It's a dairy, also a carbohydrate. Then you have a roll. My child apparently trades his food to get more rolls. Breaded chicken nuggets, carbohydrate. Apple juice, no fiber, so what's the point? Carbohydrate. Corn, starchy vegetable, carbohydrate. And then, did you guys ever get the pink square cakes in your lunch? Those were my favorite, but I was a fat kid, so. Carbohydrate in your cupcake. So you have carbohydrate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbohydrate servings in one meal. So you have to ask yourself, what's the point? What the scientific community categorizes your food is macronutrients, carb, protein, and fat. These are the building blocks of your fruits and your vegetables and your grains and your meat and poultry group and all that good stuff. And so what the scientific community is going to make recommendations on is the quality of those foods. A carbohydrate's quality is determined by high fiber content. Protein. What determines the quality of a protein? The amount of amino acids it has. What determines the quality of a fat? It has to do with the hydrogen bonds. It's not really an arrow. It just has to do with the hydrogen bonds. Don't worry about the details. What you need to know, though, is that a balanced meal is comprised of carbs, protein, fat. So this is your intention behind a well-balanced meal. Blood sugar control. I understand not everybody has diabetes, but everybody eats carbohydrates, and those carbohydrates affect your blood sugar. This is just life. Diabetics just have the inability to regulate that as well as those without diabetes. Things like protein, fat, and fiber, those three things, when eaten in conjunction with your carbohydrate, they keep your blood sugar from spiking and dropping, because those things take longer to digest, and while your body is digesting those, it slowly releases your sugar into your bloodstream over time. So you have more of a hill versus the mountaintop valley experience. The same things that contribute to your fullness are the things that contribute to your blood sugar control. Most nutrients and regulated amounts of calories and servings most often. Meal plan over here, the intention behind this is simply to check off boxes. This is the new MyPlate. This is the Heather Richmond MyPlate. This is what I teach my kids. This is what I teach my clients. This is diabetic friendly. This is healthy. This is balanced. You have your dairy group, which I like the fact that MyPlate puts dairy in its own separate category. It has your calcium in it, but it also has protein, fat if you get certain kinds, and carbohydrate, all within one source. So it's kind of a meal snack on its own. The next thing you're looking at here, you'll notice that my non-starchy vegetables take up half of my plate. The non-starchy vegetables are going to be the ones that I didn't list earlier that were included as starchy. Instead of having your fruit group, I have this lovely group right here, and I call it carb plus fiber. Carbohydrates and fiber are what your whole grains and your fruit group were providing.
Love you, babe.
Love you. You distracted me, Jordan. So what can that carbohydrate and fiber look like? That carbohydrate and fiber can look like fruit if you want it to. Now, you can also do grain in this category, that's fine, but you don't necessarily need a fruit and a grain in one sitting. There's this lovely category up here I like to call fun. Your fun category is gonna have the same macronutrients as your carb and fiber category. So if you're watching your calories, or if you're diabetic, simple solution, you just exchange your fun with your fruit and grains. You put it right here. So that way your blood sugar is still somewhat managed. Your satiety is still somewhat managed. You haven't just jumped off the deep end. Quality protein, you can look up some of those. I'm not going to go into detail on those. The last thing is fat. People who try to start eating healthier eliminate the fat in their diet and they're not full. Healthy is not low fat. You need fat in your diet. I've listed some of the best fats, lots and lots of studies out there about what fats do and don't do. No trans fat. There's no room for it. It's not recommended. No trans fat. None. So if you will visit hrvlog.com, I would appreciate it. Join my mailing list for my book. My book has nothing to do with nutrition, but I would love for you to join my mailing list. And find our Facebook community called Heather Richmond Vlog. So those who want to comment on these videos or give me suggestions for future videos or whatever, encourage one another, whatever, visit Heather Richmond Vlog on Facebook. Also share these videos if you would. Invite a mom to our Facebook community. Like this video, that'd be great too. And thanks for coming.